Hello and welcome to the transformation guide on the Buzzworthy Bumblebee Silverstreak, or Bluestreak if you prefer. But to go ahead and get started on this guy, we can just remove all of his accessories, his little pistol or rifle, and his two little shoulder guns. Just get those all out of here. The way I like to start here is I like to come into these legs and take this white panel and just spin it up. Just like that, it just spins up. And then you got this peg here and this hole here and a peg up here and a hole on the other side. And just try to be really careful with this guy because these knee joints, this whole section up here is translucent plastic and it is known to break. So just be pretty careful when transforming this guy, especially down in the leg regions. But once you get those legs pegged together, you can just kind of move his arms out of the way for clearance and just spin him all the way around. Just like that. And then I like to come under here. Oh, nope. I like to unhook the shoulders first because these sections down here will actually grab onto these tabs and lock the whole upper body to the chest, if that makes sense. So once you unhook those, you can then pull this whole section up, and there is a hinge in here, a double hinge in here, so kind of use that to kind of lift this whole section up and over his head because you don't want to scratch any of the paint on it. And then you can just straighten this up. You can take this flap and push it up, and that will fill out the hood like so. And then you can take his head and spin it around. And then I kind of like to just push it like this way, if that makes sense, like that. So push it down like that. That'll just kind of give you a tiny bit more clearance with the arms later. But once you're there, you can take his legs and fold them in right here. And this part, you gotta be careful here because, like I was saying, translucent plastic. Just please be careful with this figure. So you want to bend him at the hips and at the knees, and you want to tuck this whole section into that clear part in here. And then just keep folding this down. Kind of got to squeeze that down into there. And then there's these two tabs right here. They don't hold very secure until you get the doors on, but they do go under this section, so just kind of keep that in mind. And then, while holding this all together, you can take his feet and rotate them in. And this part kind of scares me, but I haven't found a better way to do it yet, so just be careful with it. This is not a figure you want to be rough with. It will break. But this part, kind of just, and I don't like this because you can see it like bend and flex, but you got to squeeze this down and over that, just like that. And you can see how much that's flexing. You just kind of push it together. It's scary. I haven't found a better way to do this. So if you know a better way to do this with the Datsun molds, this is my first one, so I haven't experienced it too much. But let me know if you know a better way to do that, because I don't like how that flexes. But you can go ahead and take these little white sections here, his little heels, and just tuck those in. And there is kind of a cutout, if you can see this, it's kind of hard to see, but there is a cutout down in here for these heel spurs to kind of tuck into, right there. And you can kind of try to get them in there. It's probably not going to hold perfectly, but that is where they go. Then at this point, what I like to do is take his arms and, let's see here, spin his arms so that the wheel is facing the same way as the little wheel well section here. So if that's facing out or up, you want his wheel facing up, if that makes any sense. So like this here would be wrong. You want it like that. I hope that made a little bit more sense. So then you can come down here and fold his arms in like so. And just kind of make sure this all lines up here like that. And then you just fold his arms down. And that'll actually line the wheels up. If you see how that's pushing towards the front, when you push his arm down, it'll actually kind of line the wheel up better. And now on the doors, there is a little tab right here at the end, as well as this little block and this slot here. So that slot is going to grab this tab on the wrist. That block up here is going to sit into that little cavity there. And this tab is actually going to grab into this little slot right here. So these doors very much so solidify the entire vehicle mode. Just kind of tuck all that in together, just like that. It's actually a lot easier than it sounds. It kind of all just lines up. You might have to push the wrists together. And that's it. That's it. You can take his guns if you want. You can put those back up here. Then you can put this on top. You can do whatever you want. Take those back off. Now to get him back into robot mode, what you want to do is open the doors carefully. You don't want to break anything. Like so. You can flip his hands up and pull them out and kind of lift them up just a little bit. That'll help you with clearance later. And then you can push this section down in and just fold that up. It'll stop where it is supposed to go. So at this point, I like to try to grab these heel spurs here, and I like to, just because these sections here open and flex, I like to push, or not push, but hold right here, just to prevent that from flexing, and then try to get up under this. It's not the easiest thing to do, but you can get it if you try. There we go. Got that one first try. There we go. There we go. Okay, so that it's just stiff. It holds on with this little white clip here, so it gets, once it's on there, it's on there. But then what you want to do is you can take this whole section down here with the wheels and very carefully just, I like to kind of hold these two ends of this white body section and just pull this out slightly like this, and it'll rotate down. Then you can kind of just push that and that'll split right there. You can kind of just try to wiggle these legs out of here. And again, be careful with that translucent plastic. It will break. Just rotate them around at the waist. You can then very carefully split the feet and the legs. Go ahead and spin his head around. And then using this whole multi-hinge system here, you want to kind of pull this down and back while flipping this down over his chest. But at the same time, these white tabs have to go inside the wheel wells, so you gotta just kind of wiggle it all up in there the right way. And then now, this little blue lip at the end here will kind of sit inside, if you see that white slot right there. It'll just kind of sit right in there. And then you use these arms, and like I was saying earlier, there's a little tiny slot right there that will grab onto those white tabs. And that is entirely, what is it gonna grab? Here, get my finger out of there, bend that down better. Right there, that's where it grabs, if you see. And then you rotate the wheels to the back and fold the arms down. Then you can put the door wings however you want them. And you can arm him back up. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed that guide. I hope you check out his review, and I hope you leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and stick around for the next video.